their promise was, download our extension. You don't have to go look for coupon codes anymore. We promise we'll find them for you. And what was uncovered was they often weren't doing that.
Welcome back to Affiliated. We have a special episode today, which Kyle always says it's a special episode, but this one really is because we've got four
Kyle's
people.
not here.
Exactly. He wasn't invited to this one. That's why it's extra special. But we're going to be covering the honey scandal, the scamdal, whatever we're going to call it. I'm not sure what the official title is. It's definitely not that. But if you haven't been on YouTube, honey has been the talk of the town and how they have kind of raked everyone over the coals, from consumers to content creators and affiliates. The networks are somehow involved in all this in some degree, which we won't get a label, but we'll go into, and why, if you're on ClickBank, you don't really have to worry about it. But we're going to be covering from our perspective, with 35 plus years of experience at this table in affiliate programs, why this is a big deal and why this all matters. So briefly introduce the panel, if you will.
Ooh.
We've got Michael DeLoman, the showman, over here.
Hey, what's up, y'all?
You'll recognize him from Top Offers videos on ClickBank and all sorts of good things. We got Cam Forey. Thanks for joining. You got the best beard in the industry.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, the Boomerang employee. This is your first time on the podcast, right?
First time on the podcast.
Yeah, well, thanks for
Not
joining.
my first time at ClickBank, though.
True. Second time at ClickBank.
That's
first
right.
time on the podcast.
Exactly.
Yeah, we'll get you a punch card. And then we've got Kyle Meredith.
I'm offended that you said he has the best beard, to be honest.
I mean,
and I'm Kyle, but I'm not that Kyle, but I am here to fill the Kyle
you're
quota.
another Kyle.
So,
yeah. We've just had to find
Kyle
another
quota.
Kyle,
Yeah.
and
we have a one Kyle limit at this requirement, I should
It's
say,
a
on this
minimum,
podcast.
it's a
Yeah.
minimum. Yeah, we hit.
Well, I'm excited to chat with y'all today because, going into the weeds on this, I think everyone, if you're not familiar with honey, whenever you came across, you're like, how does this work? Like, who's making money here? I'm like, yeah, it makes sense. And it's like, okay, but now that we know what's going on, which we should probably cover quickly for people
Yes.
who aren't aware, but we'll link to Mega Lab's original video below. We don't have to recover it all in this because we just want to dive into what this kind of means for everybody. But yeah, who wants to take that? Michael, do you want to kick off with kind of like the
Yeah, kind of the
nitty-gritty,
breakdown.
like,
So
what's happened
Yeah,
where?
Megalag, he had a video that was chronicling how Honey, this extension that you can get for Chrome, which basically searches if you're about to purchase something on the internet, it'll search if there's coupons for it when you're in the checkout. But he had found that when you do press that button to be like, hey, is there a coupon? It actually stuffs a cookie into the actual browser, so it takes attribution away from the affiliate that sent you there, and then attributes it to Honey. And if you're like, well, what's Honey? Honey is owned by PayPal. That PayPal acquired it just a couple years ago
for billions of dollars,
for
right?
billions
Yeah.
of dollars. And they had the big scandal with Megalag is they had gone to a bunch of influencers and said, hey, promote us, and this is a great way for, basically it bought their sponsorship. And they had been promoting this, and this was basically stealing a ton of affiliate revenue dollars from influencers. But then you start to get into the larger thing at play where they have millions of users, millions of people that have these on.
Yeah, I think over 30 million users,
Yes.
mostly in the U.S. I think it's over 20 million in the U.S., right?
Right.
And then, yeah.
And so this can basically decimate the entire affiliate community who is working in the e-com space. And because most of these offers are on traditional e-com, traditional ways. So it can decimate an entire industry. So not just the influencer side, but anybody who is working on it. If there's somebody out there that's getting last click attribution and basically cookie stuffing every single time.
It's the ultimate cookie stuffing.
Yes.
Last click attribution
And so it's
scheme.
not just a scam, it's fraud a little bit.
Well, that's why I would love to dive into, like, is this actually fraud?
Yeah.
Because I don't know if it technically is fraud. I think the fraudulent part is more on the consumer base.
Yeah.
When I'm being told I'm going to get free deals and coupons found for me,
Yeah.
and then they're not actually doing that.
Yeah.
I think that in the Mega Lab piece, I think that part really stood out to me.
Yeah.
Y'all want to talk to that piece at all?
Yeah, I'll talk about that a little bit. I mean, that was what I sort of came up with as I was looking at that. Is there's two big pieces of this conversation. There's the relationship between Honey and the creator community, YouTubers, podcasters, etc. I think the thing that's really nefarious about that is the people that they were sort of friendly frauding. It wasn't actual fraud, but the people that they were stealing commissions from are the same people who they paid to advertise their. These are the same people that were responsible for the proliferation of Honey, which we can talk about. And then the really kind of nasty piece here is what became clear in the Megalog video is that Honey was engaged in actual fraud that was defrauding consumers, right? Where their promise was, download our extension. You don't have to go look for coupon codes anymore. We promise we'll find them for you. And what was uncovered was they often weren't doing that. They were only using their codes, and often their codes were a much lower discount than the other codes available. And in fact, they were offering this as a feature to brands and stores. If you are a brand or a store and you want to reduce coupon utilization, create a partnership with us, and we will ensure that all of our customers are using either no coupons or lower discount coupons. So that to me is absolutely fraud.
Yeah, and then the whole sales pitch to the retailers or the merchants or the people with the actual products going, hey, we're actually going to save you money because we're not going to give people the right coupons. It's like, whoa, okay, this is going multifaceted a number of different ways in order to just kind of get pretty sleazy. That's why it's like, the fraud scam, I don't want to get libel thrown at us or anything, but it's like, it does seem pretty nefarious with the cookie stuffing piece. Kyle, I'd love for you to chat a little bit about kind of like the last click attribution part of this for the people that might be like, well, why, like, when we're saying it's not technically fraud, like on the affiliate stealing, quote unquote, stealing affiliate commission piece, like, at least that's my opinion, it's kind of borderline just how affiliate tracking works for a lot of these affiliate programs, including ClickBank. We're a last click attribution platform. You want to talk about kind of like that, the techie side of that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. So with ClickBank affiliates, where you have multiple affiliates that are promoting a single offer and you have different traffic sources for those affiliates, it gets a little bit muddy establishing attribution holistically. Like it's a moving target because you might have, the user might have gotten the first impression off of a Facebook ad and they clicked through to an offer. They watched all of the content, but then they decided to go to Google and they're going to search the product, and they clicked on an SEO article that also had an affiliate link into it. And so technically that affiliate, that SEO article, both of them are contributing to the sale occurring. The last click attribution is going to lead to that SEO affiliate getting the actual credit for the sale. And so
they get all of the commission. Yeah,
they're going to get all the commission. And so if you're managing an affiliate program, if you're a brand or an offer owner that's on ClickBank and you're managing an affiliate program, you have to be cognizant of that because you're trying to take care of your affiliate partners and make sure that your best affiliates who are most loyal and driving the most volume to your offer or your brand are not getting cannibalized by lower level affiliates that collectively make up a much smaller portion of your program. And so inside of the Honey scope of things where they themselves are overriding attribution, that's another level of muddiness where it's not even an affiliate, lower level affiliates that are overriding existing attribution for big volume affiliates. In some cases, it's they themselves that are overriding that attribution.
Yeah, I'm going to play a little bit of devil's advocate because when I was watching this, I was like, wow, this was brilliant by Honey's part.
Really, but it's so obvious too. Like, it's not like they're going like, okay, we're going to stuff the cookie every like on a random scale. So nobody can
they're not
find.
doing anything outright nefarious.
It was blatant. Like it was extremely like, no, every single one. We're going to put our attribution on it. What network? All of them. Like anyone that we can possibly get integration with. And so it does feel like if you're going to play like, hey, they're not scamming, like the actual affiliate, they're just doing what an SEO guy does.
But what's brilliant is that they're becoming part of the buying process for these consumers in that web extension.
And not even buying, but they're at the last thing. They're at the last thing right before you click. Like you've already entered all your payment details. All like you've put in your credit card and all that, and you're like, and then it's like, hey, would you want to make sure you're getting the best deal? And you're like, of course I do. And so you click it, and then they're like, boom, it's my money now. And then they're getting the affiliate attribution on
whether or not they found a deal, whether or not they did anything, right? Yeah.
Yes.
I think that was my thought, is because there's really 3 levels to the Honey cookie stuffing, right? The first level is when a coupon is found and applied. I think we'd probably all agree that's the least fraudy behavior. They did something that added some value to the consumer
behavior with the conversion.
Sort of right at the end of the checkout process, they added value.
Sure. That might have been the last. That might have been the thing that pushed that consumer over the edge to actually make a sale, right?
And so in that case, that's not fraud. That's an affiliate doing what affiliates do, unique value add. They're pushing a consumer over the edge. The second piece where maybe it gets a little bit grayer is Honey was still getting paid when, hey, we looked for a discount code. None was found. Sorry, good luck. The
Or this
checkout
is the
occurs.
best deal that's on, right?
Yeah.
They're kind of establishing trust. Where this is the best deal you're going to get.
Yep.
Go ahead and buy.
No value was
Yeah.
added, but they still were overriding cookies.
Yeah.
And then the third thing that they did that is both brilliant and perhaps nefarious, because there's a lot of that, right?
Yeah.
This was brilliant at some level, was the Honey Cash, or the cashback program, where basically they gave consumers a reason to use Honey and check with Honey every single time someone bought something, even if there was no coupon. So the way that worked is, in the example, the creator drove traffic to NordVPN. They saw that no coupon was used or available. The Honey Cash kicked in, right? Sort of this rebate program. Honey got paid a $35, $40 commission for sliding in and dropping that cookie. They paid the user 89 cents. And so it's like, the sort of quid pro quo value add is questionable there.
Yeah, 100%. Go ahead, Michael.
I was going to say, like, where it gets into the, okay, this is scammy territory, is that they weren't finding the best deal, though. Like, there would be coupons out there available. So so if you were even a person who was doing coupon traffic, you'd be like, there is a coupon available for.
Well, even I was telling my wife before I came over here for this about. I was like, "Here you are, the whole Honey, YouTube," because she listens to a lot of the YouTubers that, were Shane Dawson has been promoting Honey for years, right? And she watches his stuff, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I use Honey." I was like, "Oh, okay." She's like, "Oh, I feel like I should stop now." But she's like, "Well, I kind of did stop using Honey a bit because I found that it wasn't actually finding me many coupons, and I could just Google Duluth coupon if I was buying me new underwear or something, and it's like, oh yeah, there's some coupons I can apply.
Better deals.
Yeah,
that
they were
Honey wasn't
finding better.
so,
they were
yeah.
finding better deals with it, which it then gets into, okay, well, where were the like almost like a lottery system, so to speak, where they would put in, like, they could almost kind of like fudge these results in being like, hey, we're going to give out maybe to an influencer that is going to be talking about it, and we know they have the app downloaded. We're going to throw all these amazing deals. It's going to be like, oh my gosh, 40% off. Oh my gosh, 50. Look at this, and people are like, oh my god, I got to get Honey. But really, the general experience on Honey was, it isn't bringing me deals. In fact, it's not bringing me any deals, even when coupons do exist out there, and all they're doing is being like, I searched for it, which it doesn't seem like it was, and then they're capturing the full affiliate commission, and they'd be like, oh, but we're going to give you some money back, which is the commission.
Yeah.
Like, which
No, it's-
so you took from another affiliate who drove the person there, and then you took that money and then you lied to the customer, being like, we couldn't find any, but here's a little extra just for you,
Yeah.
because we care about you.
I do want
It's
to back myself out of
wild.
a corner a little bit. When I say it's not scammy or technically fraud, it is very sleazy, right?
It's very
What they're doing here.
It's very
Yeah.
it's very sleazy, and it's like taken to a very extreme way. And I think
What's
what
so nefarious is that you're going to the content creators to be your affiliate and or paid sponsor, knowing you're going to override any and all the commissions for the future of that, right? For all those downloads.
because they have
It's
all
like,
their
oh,
links. They
man.
have all their links set for each video,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Hey, if you saw this mic, if you saw this, you click down below." And Honey is going to them, being like, "Man, like, I just have to be their main sponsor for 6 months, and every video that is on that their audience goes to, backwards compatible.
Yeah.
I now gained their entire catalog. So I'm not just getting their sales from here on out. I'm getting sales for their entire creative history, which is nuts. And then that's before we even get to the performance marketing side of the performance marketers that were in the e-com space that were, since Honey started exploding onto the scene, were probably been like, why is my performance down across the board? Why are my conversion rates just crashing, and testing their links and being like, no, everything's fine. I'm still like, attribution's there, like
Do you
everything
think
checks
this
out.
is directly tied to the Honey scandal?
It has to. If there's that many people, if there's that many users, 30 million users, and let's face it, if you've installed Honey, you're a power user when it comes to buying things online.
Well, I think the hard part is that you don't have to be a power user. My understanding of it is I haven't used it for quite a while. I used to have it a long time, I think before PayPal acquired them. But in seeing their ads and stuff, it pops up when you're on an order form. It knows you're on an order form. It's like, hey, do you want to check if there's a deal, right? It's a little ping. You're like, oh, click. You don't have to be a power user. It's just like lazy.
Yeah.
On mobile, I'm not sure about how well it works on mobile. That's where I'm a little, I guess I'm going to be very curious, like if this class action that the Legal Eagles put together and stuff like that gets underway and actually comes to fruition, I'm very curious to see what amount of revenue and impact this has actually had, because it seems like it could be a huge deal.
Yeah.
But devil's advocate part of me is like, how big has this actually been?
Sure.
Because it could be, if it doesn't work on mobile quite as well, if that's more protected, like in 70+% of transactions are on mobile, maybe it's more reduced than people think it is.
Yeah.
Like it could be less impactful, and that's why people haven't found it until now.
Right.
Yeah.
Because one of the outstanding questions there is how long has it been going on for, and especially when the actual owner of Honey has changed over time, it's really hard to know.
Which is not very interesting in itself. But
Well, hey, no, again, I
Yeah.
don't think there's any love lost with PayPal here. People,
yeah.
it's like, oh, PayPal did something that didn't help people.
Scammy.
Wow,
yeah,
shocked.
wow. Who would have seen this
Yeah.
coming? But I think what's wild about from the class action lawsuit side is like, from which source? Because when you're sitting here and you're like, how many different parties are involved in this transaction when you're really talking about this? And it starts to get to a place where it's obvious fraud, but it lives in this nebulous middleman region where they're kind of taking pieces from all sides, so they can kind of fly under the radar because there's different parties that have different pieces of the puzzle to be able to figure out and be like, no, that's what's going on, because you need to have enough. You need to know enough about the affiliate industry and enough about the tech behind the affiliate industry, even to be like, that was cookie stuffing. And then you have to think
I would
about
love to talk a
the
little
affiliate
bit
part.
about maybe. I guess there's kind of two avenues to go here. One's like in my head, it's like this is almost something like this was bound to happen with the whole landscape of coupon affiliates. Right?
Yeah.
And the whole aspect of coupons in general. Most e-com brands hate the whole coupon environment.
Yeah.
Right? They put a coupon out there, gets spread across a bunch of different coupon sites. People
Yep.
that they didn't intend to get it use it.
Yep.
Lowers their cart values, lowers their profit margins. It's a whole thing. Do you even use coupons or not? How do you leverage sales? And then when people look at affiliates, a lot of brands in that space tie coupon affiliates as like the main type of affiliate that anyone's going to use. Right? No. There's so many types of affiliates out there. That's one angle to go. Another one is just kind of like, there's some objectively real reasons you'd come across something that looks like cookie stuffing, that looks black hat, but has a good use case. You kind of alluded to it, Kyle, when you're talking about like protecting maybe your main media buyer who's driving ultimately 90% of the conversion, and you don't want like a affiliate who threw up a negative SEO article to get the last click credit or something like that. There's some real reasons you might try to double down and make sure you almost have like a first click attribution. But it's kind of this funny landscape of, are coupon affiliates, do people just need to move away from them entirely and just look at different types of affiliate programs? Or like, how does this shift the landscape, if at all?
I think Kyle was starting to like get to the place of, who are you allowing as an affiliate, and who are you allowing as affiliate gets back to, what are you doing to manage your affiliates? Like, it's lazy management if you're and it can happen for a lot of brands, because they're like, I'm just trying to get more visibility. I want more people to see my product. And so in
want
your
more
head,
traffic
I
in
want more
general.
traffic. So you just start being like, okay, well, if affiliates is the way, I'm just going to make sure I'm on all these different sites, right? I'm just going to put my product there. And if I get people, I get people, because that's, in my head, that's more than like they're coming through and may not be realizing, okay, well, most of my affiliate traffic is already traffic I've earned. They're just now coming in through a couponer. Or you bring somebody into your ecosystem, you have a really great influencer affiliate or a media buying affiliate or an agency, whoever the affiliate is, you have somebody really good, and then you undercut them by bringing in, kind of a shark to the ecosystem that literally pieces away their production. And that's what Honey did. Honey got to be so successful at this because they were living in this ecosystem of lazy affiliate management, which a lot of brands do. A lot of brands get very large.
I'd love for Kyle to talk to this a
Yeah.
bit, because with your experience onboarding people and a lot of the different qualification calls you have, if they're even the right fit for ClickBank or not, like you come across all different kinds of websites. Like if you were talking to someone, say after this conversation, who's in more of like that hybrid performance brand, e-com, direct response space, like what are you talking to them about in this environment of managing an affiliate program now?
Yeah, one of the features that ClickBank allows for sellers and brands is the ability to gatekeep your offer. And so the only affiliates that could promote your offer are the affiliates that you approve to be able to promote the offer. And if you're a brand who's very protective of your brand image and what affiliates who might say about your brand in trying to achieve a sale, or how they might position your product or anything like that, you can have control over that, and you can vet affiliates to the extent that you need to. You can create an affiliate tools page. You can add a form to that affiliate tools page in order to capture whatever contact information that's relevant. You can go for name, email. You can go for ID, so you can tie back who an affiliate is to a specific ID, including their traffic source. So now you know what traffic sources to be able to monitor, and you have somebody on your team that's dedicated to trying to make sure that they understand how affiliates are achieving these sales. It's a manual process, right? It's a proactive. It's not a reactive measure. And so an established brand that is operating a true affiliate program is checking those boxes and leveraging the features that a platform like ClickBank, or I'm sure Honey's got some features that could be leveraged, that some brands also could have been leveraging in order to be able to track this and make sure that their affiliate program is operating for growth and not cannibalizing in the pursuit of, the platform benefiting or they themselves benefiting at the expense of affiliates. Because, we have heard this 1,000 times. We say it every chance we get, but a single affiliate could be worth any number of your best customers because they have the power to drive any number of your best customers to your brand. And so you have to protect them. And an established brand that's hopping on calls with us to try and figure out if ClickBank's the right solution, we've developed all kinds of features inside of ClickBank in order to allow them to effectively grow their program.
Right, but they can't approach it as like, I'm just going to throw this up on another affiliate platform and hope I get some sales, right? Which I think you're kind of alluding to, Michael.
It's not a successful model to begin
Yeah.
with, and I think a lot of the that opens this kind of laissez-faire affiliate management environment in like what was going on with like the e-com realm. Probably maybe opened it up for this, like, hey, there's a lot of these people that are just opened up to coupon traffic that will allow almost anyone to promote them. Man, if we can just get in there, it's there for the taking. And so it like, I think you alluded to it. Is it fraud? Technically, no. Is it a scam? Yeah.
I mean, it says when you on Honey's website, getting started with Honey, how does Honey partner with merchants? We partner with brands via affiliate networks to help confirm user purchases, and we get a commission for driving those sales. Working with an affiliate network is a requirement to optimize with Honey. Please see below for additional details. And then they list out what affiliate networks are integrated with Honey. And this is one of those, like, I'm not going to list all of them because there's a lot, but some of the big ones, right? Commission Junction, Awin, Impact, Rakuten, ShareASale, Shopify. I mean, they're calling Shopify an affiliate network, which
you would also have to have an affiliate like plugin for that.
Yeah, reversion or something on top, which there's tons of those out there. TuneIn has offers. And I'm going to upset some people for not mentioning their name. Oh, Pepper Jam, right? We know those guys. Right? There's so many people on here. Like, this encapsulates a huge swath of the affiliate networks and the e-com brands in the space.
Yeah, I think because there's been a lot of stuff that I've like us from working, for an affiliate network. I think our brains first go to, well, when this first dropped, my brain first went to, if this isn't going on in our platform, how are we going to, how would we have already seen, we probably would have already seen it. And I can already think of the ways that I would have already seen it. Because the one thing that, we talk about, there's so many parties in this. There's the customer, there's the affiliate, there's the advertiser, there's the payment processor who like most of these transactions end up being PayPal, which is owned by Honey. I mean, Honey is owned by PayPal. And so then you get into the affiliate network side. And a lot of those affiliate networks don't own the payment side of it. We do, though. But even
But
if
they
you
own they know who's getting paid the commission, right?
yeah, they know who's. But at the end of the day, you as the affiliate network, the reason why you go to an affiliate network, the reason why you use one is like affiliate networks are supposed to be the referees, are supposed to be like, hey, just so you know, the right person got the right amount from the right advertiser, and that you're trying to keep this garden pruned, well diversified, and trying to keep the rules as safe, like as well applied across the board. And the hard thing on that is, it's hard for me to see, like, if this is as big as, you know, a lot of these, like a lot of people are purporting it to be, how did the referees fall asleep at the wheel and be like, man,
Well, I think what you're alluding to, right, is that Rakuten or Impact, for example, in theory, would have seen that all of a sudden this Honey PayPal affiliate is becoming a top affiliate, right?
yes,
because they're earning.
How would you not?
And
maybe,
at the expense of all their other affiliates too.
yes,
Yeah,
It wasn't like they were doing something new that was driving lots of sales. They were just taking a bunch of sales that were already happening and sort of
Yeah,
tagging them,
yeah,
attributing
there
them.
wasn't-
that were already happening, but they're also injecting themselves as an affiliate when there was never attribution to begin with, right? It's just like, oh, I'm just a customer. I ended up on this web page. I'm going to check Honey,
Yep.
and Honey's going to get 3 to 5% commission because someone clicked a button, whether or not there was an affiliate involved. But
yeah,
on the front end of that,
and like metrics would look weird. Like to me, I look at that and metrics would look really weird. I'd see.
well, could look like
Could.
like to that point, right? Like if affiliate or if Honey is getting accredited with all these sales that didn't have original attribution from another creator, right? It could look like, wow, Honey's impacting all of these sales. It look like to the Rakuten or Pepper Jam or wherever these places are. Whoa, Honey looks all of a sudden like they're driving all these sales, like in a good way.
This
It
is-
wouldn't
this
necessarily
is
take
a-
away from another
This is
affiliate.
additional
Right.
traffic,
Yeah.
and then I mean, you know, things aren't going wild like as they were like early on in the pandemic, right? Like so it's people aren't getting money from the government, and you know that's surging retail. So things have, you know, dropped over that, and so I'm wondering if they could have almost hid and been like, well, man, thank God we're getting that money from Honey because like, you know, the rest of the industry is really, you know, suffering, and you know people are.
Well, yeah, I think we're assuming this is billions of dollars, you know, hundreds of millions of dollars in impact, which maybe it is, right?
Yeah.
It very much could be. But on the flip side, it could be not as big as we realize, or not as
Yeah.
big as we think it is, or they're able to quote unquote hide behind the fact that they're not overriding like if they're driving, let's say, 100,000 sales a day,
Yeah.
right? 80,000 of those are just sales that would have happened with or without an affiliate, and then 20,000 of those are their overriding affiliates or content creators. So, in that 20% gets hidden a little bit by the volume they're doing otherwise. So it's like, okay, they're not actually, I guess, from a total gross perspective, what they're doing, it could be that they're looking like a bigger affiliate than they are, but they're
Yeah.
not stealing as much as they're contributing, quote unquote, to the overall
Yeah.
pie.
Yeah. Like it,
But that's we're getting into like
it's yeah, it's
conspiracy theory a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah.
It's like, yeah,
like I think my only thing on it is the referee, like the affiliate networks are like, that's my biggest fear as, you know, working with affiliates every single day is like, is my affiliate, you know, having the best chances at success, you know, regardless of who it is, and like not trying to pick a winner, just like if we put everybody in, you know, into the rules of the game, like they have a chance at success.
yeah. Well, I mean, I know you've brought up multiple times, like when there's some big sellers on ClickBank, and they employ some different mechanisms to kind of make sure that not attributed traffic is set to themselves, or they have different ways to, right? Because you might have, like Kyle was mentioning, like affiliate required approval program, but you might be more open, but you still want a way to block affiliates who are breaking your terms of service.
Right.
And sometimes this is for kind of the ClickBank audience now. Like if you're doing that in a way that, okay, I'm going to block this affiliate, and I'm also going to make sure that if this tracking link is coming from that affiliate, I'm going to override it with this other thing so it doesn't break. So I'm not actually going to use the block list feature in ClickBank. I'm just going to make sure
Yeah.
it redirects and ties my account to it. It's like, yes, in theory that works, but you run the risk of accidentally doing that to a big affiliate who's testing that you don't know. You run the risk of making it look like you're cookie stuffing when you're really just trying to police,
Yes,
because you're not
and-
using some of these features that are built into the program, to the platforms you're on.
And then that spreads, like
Yeah.
like you said with this Honey thing. We don't know how large it is, you know, like in dollars and cents. But now that message starts to spread of being like, hey, the ecosystem here that I've been using is poisoned. And I think that's kind of the hard thing for the affiliate network piece in this is like, if I'm an affiliate network in this, I'm not the most thrilled about my partnership with Honey right now. No. Like I'm looking at them being like, now I have to, like, you guys are a topic for the next year for me that I have to go and figure out, hey, how much is really going on? I don't trust anything that's coming from your guys' angle on this, because now, like, the stories that are being, the telephone game that's going on right now is wilder than maybe what the reality is, which is not great.
Yeah.
So,
Cam, what would you say to like the brands out there who are going, well, I can't turn off Honey because maybe they look like a good chunk of my sales?
Yeah. Yeah, I think, what makes this all complex as an advertiser or a brand, what you're trying to do is you're trying to get as much good traffic as possible. And what makes that tricky is there is this sort of back and forth amongst your affiliates, and you're kind of having to referee what's fair and not fair. I think that maybe is where this felt fraudy to the influencer creator is, did Honey commit fraud against them? Probably not. Did they engage in what feels like deceptive behavior and sort of like below belt behavior? Probably so.
Right.
And so as an advertiser, and probably as a network, this is a shared responsibility between us as a network and you as an advertiser. I think the key here is being really clear in communicating sort of standards of behavior. So this is where a really great affiliate tools page with terms and conditions. This is what is allowed. This is what is not allowed. Being really clear about this is the kind of behavior we want, the kind of behavior we don't want, and then really effectively policing that, I think. And so, one of the things that you talked about that I think is important that we do all the time is when you're dealing with affiliates, being really curious and looking at data and letting the data tell stories, I think is a big thing here. Whenever I see an affiliate whose data is way outside of the data set, right? Whether it's really high conversions or really low conversions or really just weird numbers compared to the rest of the field, whenever you see really strange outliers, that doesn't mean that's a bad thing, and it also doesn't mean they're committing fraud, but it at least requires, like, let's investigate this and get curious about what's going on. And if we can come up with a story that makes sense, then maybe we continue. But if we can't, whenever you see something that's way outside of sort of the normal constraints of the rest of the data, that should always raise a question and some curiosity about what's going on here and what do we need to do about this to make sure everything's okay.
Yeah, because that story part is huge. All this kind of reminds me of like organic traffic and PPC brand terms, right?
Yeah.
There's so many stories of like C-levels who don't really understand marketing going, we can't turn off branded PPC, pay-per-click. Like that, look how good the conversion rates are. This drives most of our conversions. You're going, yes.
yes, but it's not driving, it's confirming, and confirming is different than new.
Like if you turn off 100% of your branded PPC, you're not going to lose 100% of that traffic, right? You might lose some, especially if competitors come in there. That's why you need to protect a little bit.
Yeah, it's
like with Honey.
Defense.
Yeah, if Honey's contributing 30% of your overall sales or something, turning off Honey is not, what we've learned now, is not going to kill 30% of your overall sales.
Right.
It probably won't really have much of an impact at all. You might see other affiliates rise. You might see not set, kind of non-affiliate traffic rise. You're going to see some things happen there. It might have a small incremental shift in your overall business, but it doesn't seem like Honey is actually contributing much to the pie anymore, other than maybe to the retailer. This seems like where things get a little murky, because it seems like the value out of Honey is almost protecting the retailer from paying out too much coupon and losing too much margin.
And
so on that side, it'd be like, okay, if I'm Nike, maybe I do want to use Honey because the buyer behavior's there.
Yeah.
And now I don't have to pay out a 15% coupon when I could do a 5% coupon that I give to Honey. Right. So it's like that I see as being like the really sticky point here of where Honey still has perceived value in the overall space.
Yeah.
And that gets interesting.
Yeah, they made promises to the consumer that they would find you the best coupon, and they turned around and made offers to brands that we can reduce coupon use, and both those things can't be true, right? That just because of the way that they were playing both sides is where they got themselves into trouble.
Yeah. And so, but I guess on that side though, right, if you're a brand and you're like, well, hey, Honey has actually saved us millions of dollars if I'm a big brand, or thousands of dollars if I'm smaller, because people aren't using this 50% coupon that's out there. They're using the 5% coupon we gave Honey. Like, do I want to break my relationship with Honey if it's actually adding to bottom line profit at my business. That's a tough decision to make.
Yeah.
And I think that's like, it keeps on going back to the, like your affiliate management piece. Like, is that a partner? Does having that partner poison the well for your other partners? And so,
And if so, to what degree?
and to what degree? Because, for example, if I'm an advertiser and I'm like, yeah, I accept coupon traffic. Well, after Honey, I'm going to be like, well, like, what platform are you part of? They're integrated with Honey. Are they one of your affiliates? Yeah, I don't want to be.
This is great. Yeah,
I don't want to partner with you.
Let's go down what brand or what affiliates should be doing, which you're kind of getting to. Let's go down what affiliates should be doing to kind of protect themselves, not just from Honey, but I think just as you're setting up new campaigns, if you're looking at new offers to promote, what should you be doing to make sure you're set up for the best success possible, which means not getting your affiliate attribution scrubbed unnecessarily.
Yeah, like I think this added knowing about this added another layer to that, because you know obviously you got to test your links, but you're trying to test your links in as many ways as possible.
You're trying to break it.
Yeah, you're trying to break it. You're trying to find the way, and this brings up a good, like, we're always thinking about extensions in the ad block sense, right? Like you know if they're blocking ads and you're testing but this brings into, okay, well, here this is bringing in another competitor. If there's something that is like, and I almost want to think about like Rakuten Cash.
Coupon sites are always a competitor to
they're
e-com
always a
affiliates,
competitor.
right? Yeah,
And
this
so-
is just like the ultimate coupon site.
And so it's like, how much, like how big of a threat? Because you might go in there and they're like, okay, yeah, they're taking away, but it's not that big. It's not a big threat. But also, do they accept coupon traffic? Who are my competitors? Because this is something of the size of affiliates that are also in there, because certain products can't support a ton of high scale affiliates all at the same time. At some point, you're just borrowing time on the product, versus the other one for the ad sets, who it's going to. So I think it is testing your links, finding out what extensions, and for this one was I don't think a lot of us in this industry, because we kind of get so locked into what we know, as we're like, no, well, I'm not using a Honey to check this. Like, I know, like, I'm going to search on a Reddit and to get somebody else's referral code, or we're going like insider, but you have to think like as you said, your wife had it, like an extension, and that would have been like with your knowledge and her Honey extension, possibly could have put the two together.
I don't think I would have found this, right?
Yeah,
you would have had to split test what Megalab did, where
Yeah.
he bought through his affiliate link.
Yeah.
And then he bought through his affiliate link and used Honey.
'Cause
Yeah.
that's the he had an affiliate link is the component that
That
you,
is the-
you wouldn't have had.
Right.
Why would you have ever looked
Yeah.
for this? It didn't impact you.
No, I guess I meant from if I was a content creator using signing
yeah,
up for
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I would have
have
found this, right? I think, like we were talking about before, I think the networks probably were best poised to uncover something like this, because they would have seen but I think there's ways that Honey, it was either obvious, because I doubt all these networks were aware of what Honey was doing to the nth degree, and we're all in on it or something.
Yeah.
But they there must have been some data murkiness.
But it wasn't
that
sophisticated. It was a little bit like, okay, here's an opening, and I hate using the word genius for something that's pretty nefarious.
Well, it can be, yeah.
But it was pretty obvious. So it was exact every transaction. Who is doing it? Definitely Honey, because it says it's Honey on who's getting attribution and all that. So
they're not
they
technically
could've hit it. They
breaking
could've-
terms, right?
Yeah,
They're
they
not
weren't
breaking network terms.
They weren't breaking network terms.
Which, to Kyle's point, I think, right, we're talking about of actively owning your affiliate program and managing it actively, not just putting it on networks and trusting that everything works.
I would
like you
add.
expect.
I would also add one thing to your list for what the affiliate could do to protect themselves, and that is really building their relationship with the advertiser as well.
Right.
Making sure that you have a direct line. If you have questions, if you run into issues, if you think that there might be something off with tracking, you can hunt that down working with a partner and treating your advertisers like your partners as well.
Great point. They were able to hide behind in between the middlemen, so to speak. That's where this lives, right? If there is any direct, more direct conversations going on between the advertiser and the affiliate, and there are, like I know a lot of people in the space, and
I think the easiest way this could have been found earlier, or it sounds like it kind of was. They mentioned Linus, right? They've uncovered it years ago
and said
stopped
that
being
there's
an
something
affiliate.
weird about this. There's some.
Well, I think some of it would have been from like, hey, I referred this specific person through my link, and I know they bought and they didn't get a commission. Why?
Yeah.
Who did? Like those kinds of questions in mass would have helped uncover this, right? If
Yes.
someone like an affiliate manager is getting all these questions all of a sudden, like,
Yeah.
hey, all these people are saying they should have got this kind of commission, but it happened, but Honey's getting it. That would be weird, right? I could see that kind of thing popping up, but you'd almost need to know that my friend or this person on my email list or this very specific person bought. Or on the content creator side, I can see exactly why they weren't going to catch this because it's a link in the description.
Yeah.
It's more mass market. They don't know necessarily who's clicking on the links. Same with our performance marketers, right? They've got a big Facebook ad out there getting millions of clicks. They don't know every single person going through it. It's usually the smaller affiliates that can end up finding it. But then if you're an affiliate manager, you're going to give as much time to your small affiliates as your big affiliates. And
Yeah.
you can see how this gets just wrapped up into.
That is how bad behavior is often found, like on our platform or any platform, though, is it's policed by the community, right? Someone in the community refers a friend, then they figure out, hey, I didn't get paid on that. They start sniffing around. You get a Skype or you get a message, you start testing, you start getting into it. And so that is the thing that often is the sort of smoking gun is the community catches this stuff, right? Yeah. There's a self-policing element to this.
Yeah.
So that's probably the other piece as an affiliate is, not only the relationship with the advertiser, but building relationships with other affiliates and, not looking at all the other affiliates as competitors, but you are a community collectively that's all sort of engaged in the same type of business, and talking with each other and sharing information is highly valuable. That's how you figure out sort of what is working and what isn't working.
Now, Marcus brought up a great point, right? Like what he could have done better. He brought up a good with Honey, right? A lot of people jumped on Honey because they were easy to work with from a content creator
They were
perspective.
throwing money. They were throwing big
a lot of
money.
brands throw money, but there's all these stipulations. There's all
Right.
these requirements you have
Spin the
to
butt.
follow. You have to do X many videos or use this script.
Yeah.
They were a lot more free with it, right? It's just like it was very easy to work with. People jumped on fast, right? So they were known as, hey, yeah, if you want to make some money as a content creator, be a Honey ambassador, sponsor, whatever, and kind of promote. But to his point, right, he's like, I could have dug a little deeper into how Honey actually works,
Yeah.
right? That probably would have helped me catch something like this. We could have done more things like that. So I think on that front, like a lot of affiliates want to be able to feel good about what they're promoting. But not everyone has the budget or time to necessarily do this. But some very bare minimum things would be understanding how the product you're promoting actually works, actually kind of clicking through to getting some degree of it. The hard part is the bigger affiliates do have more leeway to be able to do that or ask for a free product or ask for a free demo just to be able to make sure they can kind of test things a little more.
Yeah.
Where a small affiliate who hasn't proved their worth, doing that kind of ask is tough, right? It's like
Yeah.
they're not going to get.
I think one of the differences too here between it's important to make a distinction between what the average Honey affiliate looks like and what the average ClickBank affiliate looks like because I think it's understandable. I can understand it a little bit more how Honey arrived at the conclusion to sometimes do this more nefarious behavior because the traffic that the average affiliate for Honey is probably coming from an organic source. It's coming from their YouTube content or something like that. Whereas the average, and I don't even know if I should say average, right? But there's a massive base of affiliates on ClickBank that are buying ads.
Yeah.
And that means they're prepaying for the traffic without necessarily knowing how it performs. And even if it's performing, there's only a certain amount of margin that they're going to make. It's less risky for Honey to engage in some nefarious behavior and override affiliate attribution because there's less money involved on the affiliate side, if any money involved at all. Whereas on the ClickBank side, you could not override any percentage of media buyer attribution because their margins aren't big enough for it. If you do it, you will lose that traffic altogether.
I think that's like the unintended consequence in that whole sphere, right? Is like it's able to live there because influencers who are working as affiliates, they're not working as performance based, right? So it's one of the revenue channels that they have, and so it's not like all eyeballs are on my my advertiser partners or the networks that I work with, and the networks that they work with might I doubt there's any high loyalty to them because it's just like, it is what it is. It's just where my paycheck comes from. And that even sometimes happens on the performance side where they're just like, hey, if this product is on these ones, I'm going to where the conversion backs out, and it's just the check is where the check comes from. So, but on the performance side, they're living and dying by that conversion because of the slimmer margins, because it is the primary source of revenue, and so any dip is like, even like ridiculous small movement is like over scrutinized on the performance side, versus in the influencer space, they might have just looked at it and been like, man, a year ago I was getting a lot more from these places, and now it just doesn't seem like people are clicking those links anymore. I bet stupid Google, and then moved on. Like, so I think it lived, I do think it is a bit, that's where I think it is scammy and fraudulent in the way where it's like, it identified an affiliate where they could hide, and it leached onto them because it couldn't live in the performance space as well. An influencer space, they could just.
Well, there's a good chance if you're using Honey, say like as a Shopify brand, someone on Shopify is using Honey, there's a good chance you're either double paying or overpaying, where you're paying Honey either 3 to 5 or whatever %, and you're paying someone on Reversion for the same sale when you don't need to.
Right.
Right? Because either you're paying them out on 2 different networks, you're paying Honey over here, you're paying someone else here on Reversion or something like that.
Yeah.
I can see that happening quite a bit. So you might be thinking you're saving money with Honey, and really you might just be overpaying for the same sale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And on the network responsibility side too, even just Honey working with a variety of different networks, there's a fine, especially when you're working with both affiliates and advertisers, there's a fine line looking out for the best interests of both of those.
Yeah.
And it certainly feels in the behavior here that that Honey, to a degree, moved away from the best interest of the affiliates and into the best interests of the advertisers in order to develop features that allowed them more control, more flexibility over how coupons are utilized, which comes at the expense of the end consumer who is looking to leverage Honey to find the best deal online, which is the initial promise made.
Yeah, and they and then moved. It almost seems like they moved away from that, and then it's just like, what's in the best interest for us? Like,
Yeah. I mean, they're PayPal.
yeah, it is. So
Come at me,
I think
PayPal.
like, and you bring up a good point. Like, in this industry, there are multiple parties in there, and us as the affiliate network, we're working to be like, to go back to the referee analogy. Like, sometimes both teams leave the field feeling like, man, we need to get a good whistle.
Yeah.
But the thing is, we're trying to keep it as fair as possible, because they're like, it is, at the end of the day, you're balancing competing, sometimes very competing objectives for what the affiliates are trying to get from out of promoting it, and it's not just commission based, but we're trying to beat this margin on, with what we're seeing on CPMs and all that, versus what the main objective for what the actual advertiser is. So there's competing things going on there, and so as the network, I think that's where, if it does become larger than what we think it is, that's kind of the thing where I'd look at the networks and be like, man, you guys started looking inward at yourself.
Gotta look in the mirror.
Yeah,
like
but it, like, you failed both sides. Like, you didn't even swing one way to the advertiser, swing one way to the affiliate. Like, you just swung in the way of just being like, well, conversions are conversions.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, right, the transaction should be a triple win scenario where the customer's getting a product they wanted, the advertiser's getting a consumer they otherwise wouldn't have had, and the affiliate's getting compensated.
Yeah.
And then one step deeper with the platform, right? Because the platform is servicing all of them
Quadruple win.
appropriately.
Yeah.
Yeah, they benefit too.
It just poisons the well. Like, it just poisons the well because it just it inserts a large degree of like mistrust.
It's a toxic Honey now.
Yeah.
What do y'all take of the class action that's been leveled against, that's kind of getting some traction now? Do you think it's going to amount to anything? I've had ChatGPT summarize it for me because I wasn't about to read 25 pages of legalese, but ain't no one got time for that. But to me, I honestly don't know where that's going to shake out, because I don't even know how you start to unravel how much money was taken. Some of the claims they're making here, things
where do you even find a judge that's going to be like, we joke around here at ClickBank when we bring people on and hire them, we're like, it's going to take a year for you to realize what you don't know. And then
Yeah.
it's going to be 2 years to feel like I think I got a handle on it. And after,
Because it seems like
it's a very, there's so many different parties and different things. It feels
like the
a
false
lot.
claim to consumers where Honey's promoting itself to save money with coupons, but actually isn't. That seems to be like, I don't know, kind of where a judge is going to get more.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
I understand that.
yeah.
That was my thought. Is that to
Yeah.
me feels like the easier lawsuit. Not a lawyer, and I don't play one on the internet. But with that, you could look. You could get the data from Honey, right? If you're sort of talking about a court scenario where you get the data, and you could really easily look and see what coupons were available from a website at what percentages, what percentage were redeemed for Honey at lower percentages, and you could, as an attorney, you could probably make a really compelling argument that this was direct damage to this list of consumers, right? You could say, John Doe got a 5% discount. He probably should have got a 20% discount,
Right.
Whereas when you're talking about the lawsuit from the creator community, the affiliate community suing Honey, it's it's,
they're asking
it's
for
bad faith behavior.
restitution
I'm not-
for diverted commissions, compensation for financial losses. I don't even know how you start to unravel that. That seems.
I mean,
Yeah.
there's sometimes where we just like if attribution is lost or anything like that, that's a hard thing to unravel and go back to because it doesn't
Somewhere-
exist. Attribution was lost.
Yeah.
And so it's
Do you think content creators should expect to see any money back, or any money, any funds from a class action or a Honey?
I wouldn't say expect. I mean, you could hope, but
Where's my money, Kyle?
I think there is a lot of gray area there, particularly in the terms of service and determining whether what was done was actually fraudulent behavior that deserves reimbursement.
I think from the affiliate side, I look at, did they represent themselves correctly? We talk about, is this fraudulent or not? Was Honey representing themselves truthfully to the affiliate network? Were they representing themselves truthfully to the advertiser? I think on the influencer side, maybe not on hey, here's lost commissions, but brand wise, if I was one of those influencers and I'd been shilling them out for this long, I'd be like, dude, you're making me look like a fool. I'm it makes me look like it's tarnishing my reputation of what what I purport and as what they're coming to me to be for.
Yeah.
And this also hurts any additional partnership opportunities because you're gonna be like, oh yeah, is it gonna be another Honey? So I think that could I think maybe on that one on damage to brand.
Yeah. I think one thing I'll share that I think is really valuable around all of this is early in my career, one of my managers and mentors told me, whenever you're doing anything, whether you're writing an email or writing a memo or getting ready to do anything, imagine having to defend this action in front of a grand jury. Right? And I think, 'cause I have,
That's someone with some scary experience.
yeah, he was a senior manager at a large bank, and so he had to live this life, and so that's why he told people that. But
It's my GIF and I stand by it.
yeah, exactly. Because I've thought this through. Were the guys at Honey actively engaged nefariously in fraud? Probably not at first, at least, right? Maybe eventually that did happen where they were clearly deceiving people on purpose, but probably not. And so I think that's a really good reminder for everybody here is whatever you're doing, imagine having to explain your behavior to a grand jury, to a reporter, to a counterparty in a transaction, right? Is just think through okay, maybe I could get away with this, or maybe this is quote unquote okay, but am I
Gray
comfortable
area.
having to defend this decision or this set of actions in front of a group of my peers or in front of a jury or in front of a judge? Those are the worst case examples of this, but they, probably didn't think this through at that level when they were making these decisions, right?
That's a great way to kind of build your own little moral compass if you don't have one. Right? It's always like, what do you do if no one's around? It's like, what would I do if I was having to prove myself to a grand jury? It's probably not this. Right? Yeah.
So it's not a direct answer to the question, but what I hope comes out of this is more consistent and rigorous testing and validation to make sure that any deals that you're striking as a content creator, as a podcaster, as an influencer, as an affiliate in general, with the advertisers that you're working with, make sure that you test that setup and that you're confident in it, as opposed to just trusting and hoping for the best, and then putting a lot of effort into achieving sales through that avenue, that pipeline, that advertiser, and continue to like invest more into developing the relationships too, especially if you believe that partnership can be very lucrative for you. Well, that is somebody that you want to have, even if you're just doing a check-in with them every couple of weeks, right? Some form of contact. I mean, how many of the content creators here didn't contact Honey for months on end, if not years on end? That's probably a pretty good number of individuals.
Yeah.
Better relationship management there can help mitigate this to an extent.
Yeah. And if you're on the affiliate side, like these influencers, you have it's not just them. They have there's a team helping them film, produce, manage relationships, and all that. And in the same way that we're talking about the advertiser managing, like, hey, you need an affiliate manager who's managing. You need to have somebody. On the affiliate side, if you're getting large enough where you have a team or something, you need to have somebody else who's managing that, the relationship with these advertisers to be able to, and the networks as well. So you can go to them and be like, hey, man, something's weird. Something's odd, man. Like, I just can't quite put my finger on it. Like developing those, like in the same way, like we talk about affiliate management, but what do you got about advertiser management? What are you dealing with the actual product owners to go there and be like, and not just relying maybe on an agency or a rep who takes care of all your partnerships or whatnot. Taking a more active role in that would protect a lot of these people in the same way. Like if you're in your views, your counts, and all that, and those numbers every single day, like look at it. Look at your sales. For the influencers out there, look at your affiliate numbers like a performance marketer, as if like your revenue depended on that. You might look at those a bit differently and be like, that's kind of odd. That really dropped off. Maybe I should go back to that.
Yeah. I think all this has reminded me that if something seems too good to be true, it probably is. Right? And we all know if something's free, you're the product. Like that's kind of bare bones at this point, but I don't think what people realize in this example is that they weren't just the product, they were getting taken advantage of in some cases.
Yeah.
So, but if you don't understand how something works and how someone makes money and you're going to be a sponsor, an ambassador for them, even if you're getting compensated, double check that. And I know it's tough for a content creator out there because making money as that kind of business model can be really tough, right? AdSense can be hard to kind of accumulate over time. Getting a sponsorship revenue can be huge. It can be big bottom line profit margin for that kind of business. So I totally get the qualms are in there, but it's just one of those like gut checks of like, do I really understand how this business operates? Do I really understand how they make money? If you don't, that might be another little flag to go, okay, let's slow things down and do some deeper digging into what I establish relationships with. No, wow. This has been a fun conversation all about Honey. Thank you for kind of our first round robin pillow talk. I don't know what we're going to be titling this kind of episode 4, but it's been a lot of fun. Any final thoughts, Kyle, Cam, Michael, on Honey or anything else you want to get off your chest?
I have a couple, but I'll defer to you guys if you have anything you want to wrap with.
I think my main takeaway from this is just getting to know, like, first your partners, working with a good affiliate network and knowing how they have your back and what they're how they're watching out for you as an affiliate, and keeping things fair in their affiliate pool. And then what does the advertiser do for that same thing? How are they keeping it fair for you? How are they taking care of you? Because I think those two things alone, allows you to have partners, and maybe that's why when we find out more of this, it might not be as widespread as we think, because maybe some of these larger ones were doing that, and we're like, we're not accepting them as an affiliate. So I think that's one of the big things is how are they, how does the advertiser have your back? How does the affiliate network have your back as an affiliate? That's, I think, my takeaway.
Just a few here. First one I would say is not turning this into a shameless plug for ClickBank, right? But
hey, it's our podcast. We can do what we want.
We're sponsoring this, not Honey.
ClickBank is in its 27th year in business now.
Wow.
I mean, it's almost it's almost as old as me.
I was going to say, it's like, what's
I
your
think
birthday?
I mean, it's older than me.
Yeah.
Almost as old as me too.
yeah, same,
We'll dye that
man.
beard a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we can all speak from the table here.
So ClickBank has been in business for 27 years, right? And we have paid out billions upon billions of dollars in affiliate commissions. And ClickBank, a platform like ClickBank, specifically ClickBank, looks to service both advertisers and affiliates equally. We use this saying that, we don't make money until you make money because that's true. We make our money on payment processing. So unless there's a sale, and we are an affiliate network, so usually that sale is driven by an affiliate, very small component is organic, then affiliates aren't getting paid, sellers aren't getting paid, advertisers aren't getting paid, and ultimately ClickBank isn't getting paid. So obviously when we are making decisions on business, we're working with big brands, with big affiliates, even small brands, even small affiliates, our focus is on how do we help you achieve more success, and in turn, ClickBank will be successful. And so hopefully there's a degree of more platform vetting that occurs here too, especially with relationship building. But if you are looking to have a conversation with a network like ClickBank that really is going to try and serve your best interests, we're always game for that.
Preach, slay.
I have
slay.
two.
Yeah.
So I have two. I have two other small things. Michael, trying to stay in frame best you can. Can you turn around and just showcase what's on the back of your sweater?
Oh, I have a dog on there. I have a dog.
Oh my gosh.
The work of art, man.
Whoa, it's a
work
dog
of
with
art.
cow ears. What the
And then
heck?
Cam, I need you to look directly into your camera. In 20 years, Cam is going to make the best Santa that I have ever seen in my life. I mean, that beard is miraculous, man.
I'm
Absolutely
hoping
beautiful.
I'm hoping in 20 years to be shredded Santa. Shredded Santa, just like that gray bearded guy that we see on all the ads. Like do this one
You
weird
just have,
trick
like, the
to be
leather
shredded old man.
overalls with
Yeah.
just red
exactly.
pants.
Have
and
an
just,
axe over my shoulder.
Man, I'm getting a little hot in here.
And
Okay,
I'm
this is
going to
it.
stop talking in just a moment. Last shout out is our boy Dylan is going to do a lot of editing for this podcast. It's a lot of jump cuts and everything like that. So Dylan, thank you so
He's
much
having
for
to
helping
manage
put
all
this
of my-
together.
This was his idea, so he knew what he was signing
Yeah,
up for.
yeah.
Yeah, this is good.
But thank you,
this
Dylan.
is fun. I think the thing that is most fun of taking it and talking to with you guys over is how do we look at it from an affiliate network's point of view, which is a very unique point of view, and I don't think many people are talking about that on. Like of all the things that have gone up, of the reaction video to the reaction video to the reaction videos, like there's another big party in this that wasn't talked about at all, and that's literally us, is like of
The networks.
the networks of, geez, like it's your worst nightmare, like to wake up and to be like, oh my gosh, like how could that be? And I think that's what's been fun to talk about this, is be like, well, fun, A, because it didn't affect us, but B, is to be like, okay, well, what can you do to watch out for this when you don't have a lot of the information in front of you that maybe these other parties do have? How do you protect yourself? How do you watch out for it?
Well, thank you everyone for hopping on today. It's been great chatting about this. Thank you to our listeners. Don't forget to rate, subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen. And if you want to hop over to YouTube, if you're an audio listener, and catch a lot of this and all the jump cuts Dylan's been splicing together, you can subscribe at the Affiliated Podcast on YouTube. And of course, you can always email us, affiliated@clickbank.com, where we'll get all of your inquiries. We've got a great one here that's giving us some fodder for a new podcast episode we'll be doing. We'll send it over to you, Dylan. And of course, as always, happy scaling, everybody. Watch out there for the honeypot, and see you next time.